Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
All right. What's going on, Anthony?
I'm just cooking out here in this Nebraska heat. That's what's happening.
You said just before we started, everything's getting cancelled out there. Hot as hell.
Yeah, football practices, soccer practices, which is weird because it gets hot every year. So I don't know. I think we had like a little bit of a cold front the last month. It was a little bit chilly, and now it's 103 degrees and people are dying.
Yeah, no, it's been hot here as well. I said to my gardener on Friday, he was out there working in the sun. I said, "Oh, dude, it's boiling, isn't it?" He said, "Yeah, man, it's hot." I'm like, "Yeah, you're okay. You're Mexican. You're used to this." And he goes, "Well, you racist?" I'm like, "No, I'm from the northwest of England, bro. It's cold and rainy. So for me, it's extra hot. For you, you're used to this more than I am." But I think you're all going to survive, Anthony. You'll be okay.
I think I'll be okay. Well, listen, all these guys working, I got about 15 Mexican fellers working in my backyard right now. I always go back there and mess with them and, talking shit with them. And they're in pants and long sleeves and like these
sombreros. Yeah,
these big hats with the little drape thing on. I don't know how they're surviving out there. It's hot as shit.
I always think the same thing. I always think fair play. I mean, they are working their backsides off.
They are.
I'll tell you what. I'm not feeling the best today. I'm just going to throw it out there, Anthony. No man alive should be doing a podcast this hungover.
It's Monday. You got a 2-day hangover.
Oh, bro. Well, I commentated in Vegas on Saturday night. I get surgery at long last tomorrow on my neck. I've got a disc replacement. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to sit at the bar after the fights. I'll have a couple of drinks, nothing crazy. And it was very mellow. I just can't take it anymore. I just sat there quietly, had a couple of beers. Dean Amasinga came over. So we just sat and caught up on some old times. And then Sunday went to the airport. I had about 5 hours to kill. So I had a few drinks there, got picked up, went to sushi, had a beer there. And then I woke up this morning. I was like, whoa. I can't take this anymore, man. But it's a new me. Tuesday, neck surgery. Oh, bro. After that.
And then no more drinking.
No more drinking. No man alive should tell this many lies. As you can see, no man alive merch.
I know. I need one of those shirts.
Yeah, this is the test. They sent it me to see what I think. So I want some improvements to the quality and stuff like that. But don't worry, when it's all sorted, Anthony, you're going to get bombarded. You're going to get a parcel. You're going to get a box. Oh, God. Hoodies, hats, beanies. No man alive should be seen wearing a different type of T-shirt.
Hey, did I ever tell you the Manchester story? Someone asked me. I don't remember who I remember who I was with, but actually Cheyenne from ESPN.
Yep.
Her and I and Charlie were walking from dinner in Manchester, and there's a guy, like a young kid, I don't know, maybe 20. He's looking at his phone like this, and he starts looking at me and looking at the phone. He was actually listening to the episode that we had just dropped right before that. And he looked right up at me and did that a couple of times and went, "No man alive."
Oh, my God.
It was awesome. It was so
dear.
Awesome.
Well, shout out to that man indeed. Fight Saturday night did not disappoint. What a main card. I mean, finish after finish after finish. Decision in the main event. Was it a decision? Oh, no. He got the choke in round 5, right?
No, it was a decision. It
was a decision. What am I saying? Yeah. He almost got the blooming choke, though. Yeah, Jared Cannonier, I mean, he was driving that shoulder into the throat. And Jared, I mean, he's as tough as they come. He looked like he was dead. He was like, he did. I mean, Caio Borralho, man. I mean, the pair of them, in fact. I mean, what a tremendous fight that was.
Yeah, so it was a really good fight. Something I've noticed about Cannonier, he's a little bit he faints so much, and I find myself watching thinking, "Oh, you just got to go," but it's easy to say that sitting on the couch, or whatever he's looking at in front of him. I thought they both fought a really good fight, really well-rounded as far as their striking goes. They were punches, kicks, elbows, knees. I thought Kyle I think he really leveled up. He seems to be one of those guys that performs at the level of the competition that he's standing in front of. I thought that I've been really, really fascinated by these fight nerd guys and their game plans coming into fights. They're just really breaking these fights down to the bare bones and figuring out how to beat these opponents. I was really impressed, especially after being cut as bad as he was and seemingly kind of just powering through and it not really bothering him. Jared Cannonier's toughness is second to none. He was hurt he was hurt bad in that last round, and I thought for sure he was going to get a finish.
As you said there with the feints, because I was trying to allude to this on commentary, because they're both very fast, both very skilled, highly trained, all the rest of it, right? So they're both there, and they're both like trying to set traps, and they're doing this, but the other guy's doing it at the same time. You're like, I'm going to go, no, you go, he's going to go. It's like, it's so stressful when you're in those moments there, unless you've been through it. You're like, oh God, I'm setting a trap. Oh no, he's setting a trap. I'm going to go, I'm going to throw a kick. No, I'm going to shoot. No, It was a lot of that, but it was very like high drama type stuff.
For sure. And I was impressed with Caio's ability to kind of deal with the speed and explosiveness of Cannonier. They both cut a lot of really good angles defensively when the other guy was coming forward. I thought it was high-level mixed martial arts. It was a really, really impressive performance by both guys.
Yeah, no, it was. And Borralho now has arrived, shall we say, top 5 for sure. I mean, that man's got a bright future, undefeated now, 17-1 is his professional record. I think he lost his first fight. Now he's undefeated over 17 fights. I mean, that's unbelievable. 7 in the UFC, competition getting harder and harder. Called out Dricus du Plessis at the end. He said he thinks he sucks. You know, a lot of people say that. It's kind of the thing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But hey, fair play to him. Fair play. I want to talk about the Ultimate Fighter, the 2 fights there, because for me, obviously, I was on the Ultimate Fighter season 3 long time ago, so it really felt. It was like, I don't know what the word. It just felt strange. It felt bizarre, stepping in there and interviewing them. You know, when they've just won the Ultimate Fighter, it was like a trip down memory lane for me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how that felt.
It was a trip. It really was. I was like, dude, look at this. Here I am now, 20 years later, standing in the octagon, doing the job that someone else did with me. It was a very, very, very weird thing. The Ultimate Fighter, I mean, go on.
Was there a part of you that was sometimes when we'll be at these events and stuff working, and one of these guys who just, makes a debut on a short notice, goes in there, gets a win, or maybe they don't get a win. They always seems like when people first get signed, they seem to have a lot of respect for, the people that came before them. And sometimes as their careers go on, they lose that a little bit, but definitely at the beginning, they have a lot of respect for the guys that came before them. And sometimes I have this feeling of like, oh man, you have no idea what you're in for. Like, you have no idea the shit that's coming your direction. Do you get that feeling with those guys?
Well, I mean, I know what you're saying because, everyone wants to be a fighter. You want to be on TV, but then, today, by the way, we have, Gilbert Burns joining us in a little bit. It's a pre-recorded interview. So he was talking about the surgeries. I'm having surgery tomorrow. You've had surgeries. Like it's not an easy path. So be careful what you wish for. But it's like getting on the Ultimate Fighter is incredible. Winning it, of course, is massive. But it's like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is now where it really starts. Winning it's fantastic, but if you don't win fights, if you don't perform, if you don't work your ass off, make all of those sacrifices, it's going to be a very, very short-lived path. So I'm excited for them now. Ryan Loader, right? He was a guy that won the middleweight division. I know Ryan because he actually recruited Callum onto the wrestling team. That was his wrestling coach. Came down to the house, yeah. Him and Jason Welsh, the 2 coaches, came down, gave Callum a scholarship. And he wasn't fighting back then in the pandemic. Everything shut down, obviously. The wrestling team was working out of Alpha Male in Sacramento with Uriah Faber, just using that as a facility. That's when he kind of discovered mixed martial arts, started hitting the pads. And then every time I would see him around the Apex, he'd be cornering someone. He said to me, Mike, you're going to see me. I promise you, you're going to see me. And now here he is, 4 years later, winning the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, it's pretty cool. What
a story.
Yeah.
What a crazy story to find mixed martial arts during the pandemic, trying to have somewhere just to train and wrestle with your team. Yeah. That's crazy. Good for him.
Yeah, it's great. Harrington, jump on the show, please, buddy. Hope you're well. You had a question before about the Contender and the Ultimate Fighter, but we had to stop. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, if you rewind it, and both the Ultimate Fighter exists and Dana White Contender Series exists, when you were on the regional scene before you got into the UFC, your agent tells you have a contract for both. You can do a season in the Ultimate Fighter house, or you can do a fight on Dana White's Contender Series. Which one would you pick?
I think it's easy. You go with the Ultimate Fighter every single time because, listen, that was season 32, right? We're used to the Ultimate Fighter. It's been around a long time. When it first came, it was new, it was fresh. The UFC was just getting exposure. So it was massive. The viewing figures were insane. Here we are now 32 seasons later. Of course, it's not quite as special anymore, but it's still a great platform for these people. These people that win it still have. I mean, there's a lot of people watching the Ultimate Fighter on ESPN. So they've already got that built-in fan base. And then on top of that, you get to spend 2 months or however long it is in a training camp with a legendary fighter, Valentina Shevchenko. The coaches over the years, mine was Tito Ortiz, but there's been so many good fighters as coaches. You get to be around the production of the UFC. You get familiar with it. You get to see your promotional skills improve. Of course, you learn about fighting, but you get to see what you did on the show and then how they edit it all together afterwards to make the finished product. So you learn a lot about how to, how the whole system works. You obviously get to garner relationships with people like Dana White. You get to just be a part of it and really embed yourself into it. And I think for young fighters, it is so valuable.
Do you think you feel like that because you were on the Ultimate Fighter and so you already know what that brings? Because I feel like because I wasn't on the Ultimate Fighter, I think if I had the choice, I probably would have taken the Contender Series. Because then it's
interesting.
I feel like if I was given the choice to train where I'm comfortable, do what I know works, have a set opponent that I already know that I have plenty of time to prepare for, go in. And I feel like it puts you in the best position for success. Ultimate Fighter, you have no idea who else is on the show. You have no idea who you're going to fight first. It's a weight cut repeatedly over and over and over again.
You don't know who your coach is going to be.
Right. You don't know who your coaches are. There's a lot of stress and new things that you wouldn't be used to. So although I agree with you, everything you said as far as the benefits from it, but not knowing that before, I probably would have chosen the Contender Series because you just got to go in and just bank on performing the best you can one time and impressing one time.
Yeah, for sure. One time. It's a way easier path.
It's way easier. It's less risk, I feel like. It's hard to win that many fights in such a short period of time.
Dude, everything about the Ultimate Fight is tough. But if you can
not act like an ass in front of the whole world.
I did that every single time.
I couldn't do that. There's no way.
I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'll never forget the advice that Dana White gave me. Because a couple of times I got a bit drunk and acted like an idiot, and one of the producers was pissed at me one day because I was messing around with the staff and stuff when I'd had a drink. And then the next day, Dana said to me, Mike, because I was like, are you going to show that? Can you don't have to show that. It's not a live TV show. And Dana just said, Mike, if you don't want to look like a dick on TV, don't act like a dick on TV. I'm like, you can't argue with that logic.
That's great advice.
It's great advice. Just don't act like a dick and you'll be fine. What if you are a dick, though?
Yeah, but what if you're a prick?
What if I'm just a dick? That's just the way it is.
And 6 weeks is a long time to hold all that in. It's going to come out.
Oh, for sure. Exactly. Listen, going on the Contender, of course, it's kind of like, compared to the Ultimate Fighter, it's a fast track. It's one win, and if you have a good performance, you're in. But if you are fortunate enough to win that, and then you get to soak up all of that advice from the other coaches, and you be around it, and then on top of this, dude, it's a cool thing to do. I know a lot of people bitch about it. One of the coolest things I've done in my life was coming from a small town called Clitheroe in England, jumping on a plane, flying to Las Vegas, being put up in a mansion, coached by two legendary fighters on a reality TV show in Las Vegas. Do you know what I mean? Everything's paid for. I was like a pig in shit. I was like, this is amazing. What? It was so exciting. It was an unbelievable time in my life.
Well, and one of my regrets always was that I wasn't able to get on the Ultimate Fighter. Like, just because everyone that I know that's been on it, it's this thing that they really cherish, this memory that they have in their career that was really, really hard, but something they're glad that they did. So, I mean, I'm just saying, if I had the choice, I would choose the Contender Series because of the path, but I definitely wish there would have been something I could have done. Maybe they'll bring back like one of those old guy ones where we stick in some of the old veterans.
Who would be getting now? Would you do it? Would you do it? Sure.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, I'd do it. I'd do it again. I'll come back and be on the Ultimate. Stick me in a house. Just don't act like a dick for 2 months. Can't do it.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Who else come out. Veteran old school fighters who would be on the season. See, I tell you what, this would get views. This would skyrocket the show. So there's me and you. We need another few fighters. Harrington, O'Brien, if you've got any choices. Who's some old school guys that have been around? Throw Rampage in there.
GSP,
Rampage.
Anderson Silva.
Oh, God.
You got to get the hero of Ultimate Fighter. Get Matt Serra back in the house.
Get Matt Serra back in there. We throw Dean Thomas in there. Just a bunch of broadcasters.
yeah, exactly. Oh, dear. Anyway, so well done to those guys that won. Jared Mearchart, man, getting the win over Shabazian.
Yeah, what a comeback.
What a comeback.
Indeed. He was getting worked for a while.
Shabazian's good, though, but Jared Mearchart, you can never underestimate him.
Put him on the show. He's a veteran. That's a guy you put on the show.
Mearchart, there we go. We'll get him on the show. Michael Morales, there's a name you need to keep an eye on. 17-0. I think he's only 25 years old. 17-0, coming from Ecuador. Spinning elbow off the takedown attempt. Drops Magny, follows it up.
I hate him.
Who?
Michael Morales.
Why do you hate him?
How are you that goddamn good at 25? It's bullshit.
And so ripped?
Yeah, like ripped. He's good looking. He's decent on the microphone. He's like
Latino. He's
tall, dark, and handsome. It's weird. I don't like it.
Six pack for days, spinning elbow, knockouts over veterans.
Can fight like a savage. This is bullshit. You can't have it all.
Getting pumped up by the promotion. It's like, come on.
Why do you get to have it all?
Do you see him doing his little salsa dance when he got the win?
And he can dance.
He can shake the hips. It's bullshit, man. It is.
Yeah, He's
going to have a big future, though. Keep an eye on that guy. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. All right, Harrington, what is like the big story right now? Good night fights of the weekend. Obviously, we talked about that stuff. Any other talking points from the night you want to get into? Anthony, is there anything burning or should we?
No, I don't think so. Not burning. I thought it was just overall they were good fights.
Yeah, good night. Yeah. Herringbone?
Just one little note. Wang Cong, she did not get did not get a performance bonus.
That's Dana that boxer girl, right? The
Yeah.
The Chinese boxer. Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, keep an eye on that name. She was the first fight of the night.
Hands, yeah.
Knocked out her opponent. It was like 60 seconds. Clean the way she knocked her out. Yeah. Undefeated in kickboxing. Beat Valentina Shevchenko in kickboxing back in the day. Now she's training at the PI in Shanghai, learning all the wrestling and stuff like that. I'm telling you. And she's cocky as hell on the microphone as well.
Yeah, you hit like that. Cocky. You don't need wrestling, though.
Yeah, no, she's awesome, man. She's awesome.
Like
but what were you going to say, Harrington?
I thought it was pretty cool. She did not get a performance bonus. Obviously, that went to Morales and Mearshart, and then the main event was the fight of the night. Dana White said that performance was too good, gave her the $50K anyway. So nice little bonus.
Yeah. Nice. Because come on, that's bonus worthy. The way she did that.
Yeah, that was cold. It was cold-hearted. It was cold-hearted the way she did that, poor lady. It
was cold-hearted. Let's do a non-MMA story. What do we have here, Harrington? Go on. The choice is yours.
Okay, so I think this one is probably the coolest one that I found. Rapper Macklemore, he was doing a concert in Bratislava. For one of his songs,
of all places,
I mean, when this
where
guy does
is
a world
Bratislava?
Tour, I'm guessing somewhere near Lithuania, if I had to guess.
Eastern Europe is that'd be my guess. Right between, Bratislava. Go on.
So he does this thing. He's during one of his songs, he's like, hey, let's get an audience member up here to sing this song along with me. This girl comes up, she kills it, does a great job. Unfortunately for her, it was a giant, stadium show with, tens of thousands of people there. One of them recognized her from a website where people have outstanding warrants. They called the police and they were there to meet her as she was leaving the concert.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. What was she wanted for?
Yeah, what was she wanted for?
It doesn't say what this specific warrant was for, but in 2019, she did catch some charges for running onto a soccer pitch topless. It may be in connection.
You shouldn't arrest people for that.
No, it's like fair play to that.
Encouraged.
A bit of streaking at a sporting event. That's just life in Bratislava, man.
Right. Just let them do their thing.
Streak is
so pissed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you get on a stage, you kill it, you're having a good little sing-along, rapping away. If you're wanted, though, it's a serious crime. You just don't get up there. You don't do that.
You probably don't.
But if it's only a bit of streaking, who gives a shit? I don't.
She should have streaked at the concert.
There was actually a story kind of similar to this happened at the final for Copa America this year. One of the heads of, I believe it was a Colombian cartel, was spotted at the 50-yard line watching as Colombia played in the Copa America final. So maybe just stay out of stadiums if you're wanted.
Well, just keep a low profile in general. If you're wanted by the police, I'm just going to give you a tip. Don't go on The Ultimate Fighter. Right. And don't act like a dick. Do you know what I mean? You should send in a question to the BYM pod, though. Yeah, exactly. And tell us all about it. You'll be fine. Nobody watches this show. Before we do some MMA stuff, let's talk about this. How do we feel about this? Harrington, in Australia has a new law in the books that allow people to ignore work calls. A law? Well, only after hours. So what they said, they found a study that Australians were doing about 6 weeks worth of unpaid overtime with phone calls answered after work hours, emails answered after work hours, texts, et cetera, et cetera. Now you cannot face repercussions at your job for not returning an email, a phone call, a text message, anything work related outside of business hours. How do you feel about that, Anthony? I don't know that my opinion is going to be very popular. I think I've got the same one. We haven't spoke about this, but I'm like, if you want to be something, you want to get
make
that promotion. You want to make it.
You want to make it.
You want to be that guy. They say, yeah. If you want to be granted, if you're working in at a factory or whatever, they're not going to be sending you messages at 9 o'clock at night anyway. Right. But if you're in a job, right, and you're working for someone, you're trying to work your way up the corporate ladder, you want to be seen as a guy that is dependable, that is ambitious, that wants to help, that wants to be a part of the team. Not go right. And sometimes 5 o'clock, I'm done. Your life easier. I agree with you, Mike. Thank you, DC.
Thank you, DC. I don't want to see, I don't want people doing a bunch of free work. That's not what I'm getting at. But no, like, for example, like what kind of jobs are we talking here? Like, for example, you and I Harrington was texting me at midnight last night about this stuff today. If I just don't respond and just like, I happen to be awake and got it. But like, if I don't do that, then that screws everyone over. And then that messes, you know what I mean? Like, if I got something I need to talk to you about and it's 10, you're like, no, hold on. We were podcast hours are during the day. Don't text me. Like, that's weird. I don't know. Like,
I will say this. Americans, and it is, I guess, an impressive thing, but it is something that Rebecca and I did notice when we moved here. Like, you guys don't respect business hours, like in the calls. Like there's certain times you don't call someone's house or phone. Like, I don't know, to schedule something or a cold call or whatever. I'm getting them at 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, bro, I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about someone I work for. I'm just, people are working. Like, you guys don't take time off. The country shuts down in England for 2 weeks at Christmas. People go on vacation. They go on holidays. You guys are, the work ethic is through the roof. Just need to chill out a little bit, boys and girls.
Yeah. Well, and that's what people are going to say. Well, people need breaks. And I get it. But like, if you want to get ahead and you want to, I don't know, like when I was working my regular job, if I wasn't answering stuff even after hours, it's going to make it difficult for everybody to get stuff done. That's just how it is. So I don't know that it should be a law. I think that at times you should probably back off people a little bit. If it's something that can wait, let it wait. But I don't know. I think the best workers are guys that are available a lot outside of working hours.
Yeah, and think about it like this: whether a law. I mean, how do you even enforce that? It's insane. But think about it like this: they don't need the law to do it. The boss knows. If you're working for someone, the boss knows who's enthusiastic about the job. They know who is trying to make some effort, who's a dependable kind of guy. And that person will probably, more than likely should, get rewarded, will work their way up, will get more opportunities. If you are dependable, if you show up on time, if you are just a constructive member of the team, and you do a good job. If you're that guy just switches off at night, they might not tell you to your face, but they're like, yeah, this guy, he's not invested. He's not a part of the team. So like, you're going to stop getting as many opportunities, whether or not there's a law written in place or not.
Well, I'm just like sitting here thinking, most of my friends that I hang out with on a regular basis are always, I wouldn't say they're on call, but their phones will ring from time to time. They take 10 minutes, they fix whatever problem it is, they answer a couple emails really quick. It's really not that big of a deal. Like, it just keep things on, keep rolling forward as they should. And the way the world is, especially since COVID, a lot of people work from home. A lot of people are allowed a little more freedom now. And I think that what comes with that is you get a little bit more to do in your personal time, but you probably aren't working as hard as you typically would if you were in an office 9 to 5 every day. And like the world is just, it's a little bit more electronic. There's people that have coworkers in other countries and it's just, I don't know. I don't see it that being that big of a deal.
You mentioned there the pandemic. I mean, one thing that really kicked off in the pandemic is this stuff, Zoom calls, virtual calls. Right. I love that. It wasn't, I don't know, I'm sure the technology existed, but it was nowhere near as in a common part of day-to-day life as what it is now, Yeah. And it's
I have a couple Zoom meetings a week now.
I've got a Zoom straight after this. I've got multiple bloody Zooms. But back in the day, I'd have to jump in a car and drive up to Los Angeles, Right. It's so much more convenient. But of course, people are working from home more. But you might not slack off, but you might work a little bit later in night, in the evening, So, yeah, I like it. It. Whatever, who cares? We're waffling on about utter garbage. Should we talk about something we do know?
Okay, what are we talking about?
Alex Pereira, go.
Oh, you're trying to get me immediate again. No, you know what? I think me and Alex Pereira would be good friends. We had some time to spend together. I bet we would get along just fine.
Well, he says that it was, Poatan says he is not the one that ducked Magomed Ankalaev. He said that Magomed wanted to set the date and the location, and that did not sit right with Pereira as the champion. That's what Harrington put in the notes. Let me click on the link, because often, a lot of the time, what's there, what Harrington writes, and then when I look at it, doesn't necessarily stack up, and it's a little bit clickbaity from Harrington. A lot of people ask me, I always wanted to fight Ankalaev. I threw that at the organization, but Ankalaev didn't want to fight against me. He isn't the champion. He can't pick anything. I'll cross him soon. All right, fair enough. What do you think about that?
I'm okay with that. When you're the champion, you get a couple things. You get to maybe you don't even always get to pick who. Like, you can't always choose who you want to fight. Like, I'm sure you have an opinion, and the UFC takes that in consideration. But I think you do get to, especially when you're as busy as he is and you step up for the UFC as often as he has and done hard things for the organization like he has, you kind of get to pick the time and location. Like if you don't want to fight in a certain month or you want to fight in a certain month and that doesn't work for him, tough shit for him. Like if you want the opportunity, be ready.
Without question, I fully agree. Because the thing is, when you become the champ, you get the belts, you're the number one guy in that division, but also you get the respect. You have earned a position as not only a famous fighter, but a position of respect in the company. You don't own the company. You don't get to call the shots precisely, but you do get a little bit more of a say in when you fight, where you fight, who you fight. Of course, the UFC, they put on the promotions, they hire out the venues, they do all the deals, they do all of that stuff. But you do get a little bit of a say. Doesn't mean you get the final say. You get they will show you a sign of respect and be like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Whereas typically when you're working your way up on the roster, it doesn't work like that because you're just like one of many, many other fighters itching and scratching and clawing your way to the top of the ladder. But when you get there, you get a little bit of a say. So and rightly so.
He doesn't seem like a guy. I just don't feel like that Pereira's ducking anybody. I don't think he cares. But as much as I know how important it is to me when I fight or where it is. Like if I don't like that spot that they're talking about, I'll tell them like I don't really want to fight there. But I never talk about the opponent. Like I'll fight whoever. It doesn't matter to me. But I do care about when and where.
And when and where is that going to be, Anthony? December in Las Vegas?
That's what I'm hearing.
It was like pulling teeth out of here last week when we were talking about
I wasn't signed last week.
Is it signed now?
It is.
I got to pull those bloody teeth.
Well, it was already announced before it was actually official. So like now it's official and it's not cool.
Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What's his name again? Sorry, I've gone blank.
Shit, what's his name?
No. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes.
Yeah.
UFC 30. What is that?
310, I think.
Oh, 310. We're getting through them already. What's the main event there?
I don't think there is one yet.
Maybe McGregor versus Chandler.
That'd be cool. I've never fought on a Connor card before. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. It'd be cool for Chandler. It'd be cool for everybody involved.
Yeah. Be a cool bucket list thing too to check off. Like he's not going to be around that much longer. If you could check off fighting on an event that Connor fights on, I'm sure that's a special kind of different feeling event.
Yeah, of course. Did we get your opinion on Khalil versus Pereira? Did we talk about that?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think we did either. Of course, you know Khalil Rountree very well. You're in the division.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight? Did you see Chael's take? Chael's like he's the most stylistic, dangerous opponent for Alex Pereira. That was kind of Chael's take. What do you think about this one?
I think Chael's crazy.
Yeah, he's out of his mind.
He's out of his mind.
In a good way.
I love Chael to death, but he's a little bit crazy there. I think that it's stylistically, it's a hard fight for both guys. There's about 100% chance of someone's getting knocked out, and that's a tough fight to be in. But I don't see Khalil Rountree's he hasn't had one takedown attempt his entire UFC career. How crazy is that? He hasn't even.
I respect that.
I do too. But what are the chances? As many times as he's been in there, you've never been in a situation where your feet got all tangled up and you were close and you just kind of grabbed on just to shoot a takedown attempt to, just fill the space. That's crazy to me that you've never even accidentally shot a takedown. But I don't like how willing Khalil is to give up ground and look to counter. Alex Pereira is a really, really tricky guy. And it seems like letting him walk you down to the fence makes it to where you can only go one way or the other. At the level that Alex Pereira fights at on his feet, taking all those options away from yourself seems like a bad idea. Khalil does have a really nasty lead check hook that he uses as a counter that's really fast. So it does give you some problems when you're in front of him because even if he misses it a couple times, now you're aware of it. And so you're always aware of it the whole time. Once he throws it a couple times and it zooms by your face before he gets his distance down, now that's a problem the whole time because you can tell right away. If that thing lands, I'm going down for sure. So now you're addressing this whole issue on this side of his body the entire time.
Yes, but the talk is, because he even said that. He said, I don't shoot for takedowns. This won't be the fight where I shoot for takedowns. But that's the biggest trap ever. So I don't shoot takedowns, guys. I never have done. And then what do you do in the title fight when it really, really matters? You pull that one out the back pocket. Boom, double leg.
I don't think his game is built around that though.
It's not, but it might want to start it being.
I talked to John Wood, and they're really excited. And I don't think I'm pulling the curtain back here at all. Like, they're really excited because this is like the type of matchup that they want. They don't want to have to worry about the wrestling. They don't want to have to worry about the jiu-jitsu and fighting off of his back and all that stuff. Like, it seems like both guys are just have this deal. Like, this is just what we're going to do, and we're going to figure it out on our feet. Khalil he's a little bit smaller of a 205er. He's range wise, because I was out of shape and I was, short notice. The thing that saved me was my size. I was able to keep him off of me for the most part and kind of control the range and distance for a while. And I just think Alex is better at that, obviously, than I am. So I don't like that Khalil is primarily a counter striker with a guy that's as dangerous as Alex Pereira.
No, it's going to be a good one.
If that makes any sense. But
let me ask you this, and I hope this doesn't come out the wrong way, but I know these kind of emotions. Did it sting a little bit when you saw Khalil get in a title fight? Because, there's a logical argument in your own mind that had I have won that fight, maybe that could have been you. Because that's just the way we work. The human mind goes all over the place. Was there a little part of that for a minute, maybe? No, it actually made me feel better about the decision that I made. Yeah.
Because I only took the fight knowing that I wasn't 100% prepared and that I was in okay shape, but I wasn't in fight shape. And he's a really tough guy to fight on short notice because of his style, and he's a southpaw, and I historically don't do that well against southpaws, especially if I'm not prepared. I don't want to say I don't do well, but I have struggled at times with southpaws. After the fight and since the fight, I've always thought to myself, God, you're an idiot. Like, you didn't even, like, in your head, you told yourself, wow, this might be my chance if I can get a win over this guy that'll get me really close to a title fight. And then it did, and then he didn't really do a whole lot after that. And then the drug thing with Jamal happened. So then when he did get the title fight, it justified that I at least made the right decision by wanting to go fight him. Yeah. Even though I wasn't prepared. Like, okay, at least I didn't win, but the risk and chance that I took would have been worth it, because that probably would have been me, or at least I would have been closer. So yeah, it actually made me feel better. Yeah. Like, okay, I made the right decision.
Yeah. And he goes off and then fights for a belt. Who knows? He gets the job done. If he does that, it makes it age perfectly for you as well. Yeah. All right, this episode is sponsored by shopmando.com. That's going to have you smelling nice and rosy all day long, because Mando will control the creation of body odor for up to 72 hours. That is 3 days. And by the way, if you're going away like I am, you never know what to pack. Well, you can simplify that travel packing with Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. What is that? Well, it's a 5-ounce bar that does the work of a shampoo, a face wash, a body wash, and a deodorant. You can also use it to create a rich shaving lather. So technically, 5-in-1. It is clinically proven to control odor for 24 hours. Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar is formulated with gentle alpha hydroxy acid that stops odor at the source. Regular soap can't do that because the pH is too high. So you want to give it a try. You want to do that by going to shopmando.com. Use the code Bisping and you will get $5 off the Mando starter pack. That equates to over 40% off the starter pack. Of course, the starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes. Mando is aluminium free, baking soda free, cruelty free, dye free, and suitable for vegans. So what more do you want? The code, one more time. The code is Bisping, and the website is shopmando.com. Use the code Bisping to get $5 off. Speaking of aging perfectly, here's one man that is also aging perfectly. 38 years old, still going strong. The one and only El Darino, Gilbert Burns. We'll be back in a minute. This was a pre-recorded segment. Anthony was off getting his teeth whitened. Here's Gilbert Burns.
What's up, Michael Bisping?
Man?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Feel like it's been a while.
A little bit, a little while. We got a little recovery in between, you know, and back to work.
Nice. Yeah, well, no, exactly. Yeah. I mean, main event again next weekend, Apex, Sean Brady. What do we think about this matchup, Gilbert?
I'm excited. He's a tough one. He's a good name. I'm number 6, number 8. It makes sense. Finally, it makes sense. Sometimes giving a step back is crazy, but that step back is not as crazy. So number 6, number 8, sometimes like number 4, go all the way to number 14, end of the life, number 11. At least he's not that far. And he's a tough opponent. I like these guys who are 15-1. Yeah, I like that fight a lot.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you fought everybody, but in terms of Sean Brady, we'll talk about your career in a second, but this guy, he's known for the jiu-jitsu. What are we saying, Gilbert? When you hear, did you kind of like laugh and be like, bro, come on, you ain't going to jiu-jitsu me?
I like it, to be honest, you know. So if you want to grapple, let's grapple, you know, let's grapple. He's a black belt from Daniel Gracie, you know, a lot of respect to Daniel Gracie. Yeah, he's tough, bro. I'm not gonna like sit down here and say the guy's tough. You know, he beat a couple high level competition, Kelvin Gastelum, a couple other dudes that were very tough. He was toe to toe with Bilal until he got a finish. So yeah, he's a very tough dude. I respect him, but I like the matchup. When they say his name, I like it very much. They try to hurry up for July. I said no. July is too close. Now that I'm getting back in shape training, I need a little bit more time. And we still want to make that fight. I say perfect. And they say September. I say perfect. Any day in September is good.
Nice. Well, best of luck, buddy. I'll be there. I'll be commentating, so can't wait for it. You always show up, Gilbert. You always put on a show, you know. Sure. And I was just looking at your fight record there. I mean, talk about a murderer's row, man. It is insane. I mean, let's have a look at this little run here. You know it. Jack Della Maddalena, Bilal Muhammad, the champ, Masvidal, Magny, Hamzat, Usman, Woodley, Maia. Ain't no easy fights for Gilbert Burns.
That's what we want, right? We don't. Sometimes we want easy money, but sometimes we gotta. Sometimes we gotta kind of show up, you know. And then I think that's why the fans like it. Everybody like it. Every time that I go in there, I'm gonna leave everything in there. And then I kind of like that. Even though I'm on the tough path of my career, that was the only time that I got 2 losses back to back. A lot of learning. On the same way too, it's good that I'm like on a very good time of my life, like personal life, spiritual life. I'm in a great place. Otherwise, it would be hard to be on that moment. But I'm in a good moment, so take one day at a time. Taking a lot of experience from my teammates, and I'm excited to be back. You know, to be there, especially right now at that moment when they say Apex is not my favorite place to fight. I like those big arenas, and but whenever for that moment comes from 2 losses, Apex, Sean Brady, main event, I like how that sounds. You know, more intimacy. You being there, you comment all these fights, but it's a private sparring session. You know, for sure I'm going to try to kill this guy, but it's a kind of sparring private with a lot of guys coming. You know, not a lot. It's 100 people that is in there, maybe. So
yeah, they're actually expanding it at the moment. It's going to be a lot bigger, I think, at some point. So they're going to have a few thousand in there. So that should be cool. But yeah, man, you've been there. You fought for the belt in there against Kamaru Usman. You know how it is. You just mentioned there 2 losses in a row. No shame in that. You've been fighting the best guys. But one of those guys is Bilal Muhammad, who's now the welterweight champion of the world. Who, I mean, he went out there and put a whooping on Leon Edwards. It was a great night at the office. When you shared the octagon with him, though, what happened? Because we haven't actually spoken. Did you did something to your shoulder? What was the actual injury?
Yeah. Oh, I have like 4 different injuries on the shoulder that time. I came healthy to the fight. Well, even though it was short notice, but I was healthy. I was looking good. That was like 3 weeks after I fought Masvidal, so I was in shape. The first takedown that I shot on him, he did a good down block. He went all the way down, shoulder down, and he blocked my shot. When he blocked it, I landed with my weight, full weight, and his weight on my shoulder, both. And that was AC joint. That was like, I even the trapezius muscle, I have a big tear that was a lot to get back. To be honest, that was one of the toughest moments. I focused on the solution. It's like, okay, I messed up. And then I go next week, I come to the gym. What can I do better? What did I do wrong?
Yep.
Okay, and then and then I couldn't have done that. That was the toughest part because I got back and the doctor said, hey, your shoulder is just like it's barely there. You know, it's kind of like it's hanging in there. If you walk hard, if you sprint, we need a surgery on your shoulder. So you can't do nothing for 2 months. Let's put stem cells in there, and then we'll see. And then I gotta wait like 2 months, not doing anything, no training. And then after that, I got back to my doctor. I said, okay, you don't need surgery, but let's do another shot and wait a little bit more. So it was just like almost 4 months waiting. So we slowly get back to PT and get back to training just to avoid the surgery. And that was a tough one to solve. And then, okay, then I'm good. I'm back. You get back to training. Boom, lost by TKO the last round. The fight that I was actually doing good.
You were doing good as well. It was a great fight. You were doing really good. He got you, the bastard.
He did. And shout out to the guy because he was actually a very nice guy. He hit me up a couple of times. He got freaking surgery on his arm. He's still like not free to fight again. And he just got me. Like that one, to be honest, was easier than swallow than the shoulder injury because that one after a little bit rest, I was back in training. The Belal Muhammad took a while for me to come back.
Yeah, that's the hardest part as well. Like, for example, myself, I have surgery tomorrow. I'm getting a disc replacement in my neck. And my wife, this morning, we just went for a walk with the dog. She's like, listen, after surgery, you've got to do what the doctor says, okay? Follow the rules. Don't be working out again too soon. I'm like, babe, I'll be fine. The hardest part, as you said, is sitting around and doing nothing, man. I can't do it. Especially
us, we have the adrenaline, you know, like that. I think that's where a lot of fighters kind of get caught with that, you know, they slowing down, they shouldn't be fighting, but they want that feeling of beating another guy, the arms, you know, raising your arm up, and we kind of addicted to that. And then whenever, okay, sit down and don't do nothing, it's just like, what do you mean sit down and don't do nothing? That's the worst. But thankful, I'm on a great place, you know, like I'm super friends with Gregory Rodriguez, Vicente Luque, and he's a Brazilian church very close to the house. So I started joining the church, and then things, in my perspective, kind of changed a little bit because if I didn't have the church and these guys, I think I'll be depressed after that second loss, you know, because the first one was already tough, and then I got back, everything good, and boom. So, but I'm in a good place right now, to be honest. I'm very hungry. I want to fight. And I think there's a great matchup, but it was a lot of experience, a lot of learning, but now it's time to execute that learning all the experience that I got on the way, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, listen, you beat Sean Brady. You're still, what are you ranked right now? Like 6 or 7, something like that?
I'm 6. Number 8, yeah.
Yeah, so you beat Sean Brady. You're very much still in the conversation.
For sure.
Belal Muhammad's the champ. What do you think of his ability to have a long reign? How do you see the run of Belal Muhammad?
Did you remember the text that I sent to you? You asked me who you think is going to win. Remember or no?
Oh, I did.
I did. If it was on the text.
And I forgot to mention it on commentary. I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask Gilbert. I'll say it on commentary, and I completely forgot. But go on. What was the text?
No, it's all good. But you remember that, right? I don't know if it was on the text on the Instagram, but you say, let me know who you think is going to win. Then if you have that, I don't know if it was Instagram text.
Instagram.
Look what I did. I said, hey, Belal Muhammad is going to beat this guy. He's going to go forward. He's going to apply the takedown, going to put pressure. I think he's going to win.
Let's have a look. You did say this. Hold on. I can't find it. It's here. Oh, tough fight, but I believe Bilal's going to make it a dog fight. I think that's the only way for him to win, and I believe he will do that. Randy Couture-style dog fight, inside dirty boxing, mixed up with the wrestling. I mean, come on. You're taking my job, man. You're hitting it. Nail on the head, straight out of the park. You were right.
That was crazy, right? That was crazy. So I don't know why I saw that coming. I saw I think Leon got a couple injuries. I don't know exactly what was, but he didn't look ready, and Bilal Muhammad looked on point. You know, the guy looked super hungry, and especially knowing that they don't want to give it the title shot, right? So now that they give, I got to take that, because if he lose that fight, they will never give a title shot to this guy again. So that was kind of his chance, and he did an amazing. Right now at Division 6 right now, I think Shavkat might be next. I think I heard a little conversation maybe by December. But yeah, we got Shavkat might be the front runner to fight for the title. Then we got Kamaru that they were talking, but I think Kamaru has to do one fight. Let's see how it goes with me and Sean Brady, but I'm ready to take on those big dogs right there. Leon Edwards, Kamaru, Kobe. First, I got to focus on Sean Brady, but I know it's kind of like 2 fights, you know. I got to beat Sean Brady, maybe one more guy to kind of put myself in the conversation. And that's what I'm planning to do. So, but yeah, Bilal get a big, his hands going to be full now with Shavkat. He's a tough fight. I think he can go either way there. I got to take a better look. Whenever it gets official, I'm going to look at better. But yeah, that's a tough fight for both guys.
Shavkat's one of your teammates, right?
Yes. He's all the way in Kazakhstan. He comes to do more camps right here. He's a tough dude, bro. Guy's a problem. Like, good striking, tall, big for the division, still young. He's very good.
But we're going to have this same situation, aren't we? You go out there, let's say you beat Sean Brady, then you get another big one. Shavkat's the champ. It's you and Kamaru Usman all over again. Teammates.
I love him. Yeah,
you don't care.
I'll fight.
You try and take the belt off your teammates.
Yeah, well, anyone. The best scenario will be beat Sean Brady, finish him quick, beat Kamaru, and beat whoever's the champion. For Shavkat, I don't care. We know we fight each other. We don't care. We're not. He's not a bad blood. Honestly, we train. No. We make each other better. But everyone wants to be the best, right? So we gotta be the best. So it's all good. It's all we respect that on each other already. You know, like you're doing your job, I'm doing my job. It's like if it's only one commentator, you gotta go through Paul Felder, gotta go through DC. I know you're going. I know you don't care.
I will fight them for it. I always say, like, because all the other guys that are coming up, your Joe Bands, your Michael Chieses, they all want my job. They're all trying to steal my job. Let's be honest. Just like everyone's trying to be the champion. You know what I mean? Sure. So, I mean, it is what it is. I love hearing fighters like you, Gilbert. Just be honest about it. It's like, bro, if he's the champ, I'm going to fight him. You get these fighters going, teammates. When you set off on this journey, on this path, you make all this sacrifice. You didn't know these people. You don't do it for them.
I don't care.
Like, who wants to sit around and see someone else that you're not friends, that you didn't know, that's not family, be the champion, making millions of dollars and all being celebrated while you just be a training partner? It's like, no, bro. That's not what I signed up for.
No, for sure. No. Even Ian Gary, we have a great relationship. He's a cool dude. I have nothing but respect. Like, we always have fun. I was there on his fight. I saw this guy in Brazil. We're fun. We're cool. But if they offer, we're both going to say yes. And it is what it is. I don't care, you know. If we gotta fight, we gotta fight, and then the best man wins. Oh, we trained before, so what? We trained, but I'm not trying to kill you, you know. I mean, we just trained. So
Gilbert Burns versus Ian Gary is what I'm hearing here. You're gonna get the win. You're gonna call out Ian Gary.
I'll call Kamaru first.
Oh, you want another shot at Kamaru?
I want for sure. I want that rematch, but it's not that Ian Gary. For sure, I will do that fight too. But for me, it's like the guys that are in front of me. They'll be the biggest fights. You know, like Leon Edwards. And now I have no opponent. That's a big fight. Kamaru, who's my former champion, rematch is a good fight. And Kobe Covington too is another one. I'm not gonna waste my time with this guy, but you know, he's gonna be on my list. If they give me one of those 3 guys, that's a big win over these 3 guys. It's a title shot, you know, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw recently you said as well, you've probably only got a handful of fights left, right?
For sure.
Before you retire. I mean, number one, what a career. What a career, what a run. But like,
how old did you retire?
I was 37.
Yeah, I'm 38 already.
38.
I think you're 38. Yeah, see?
Yeah, I was 38, but I had one eye. You know what I mean? I wanted to keep going for a bit longer, but that kind of retired me for me, you know. But dude, I mean, unbelievable. Did you ever think when you started doing martial arts that this would become your life? You would make, you know, this would be how you'd be paying the bills. I mean, I am so grateful for being a part of the UFC, having the career that I did, and just making me the man that I am today. I'm sure you're the same. The same.
And then that was the dream, right? To be able to live from fighting. I had no idea. I always believed that I could do, but I didn't know it was gonna be like that. Today, like, thank God I got a nice house. I got a couple other investments that week. I don't need to fight, but I want to fight. And I still got a couple more fights. I don't know how many more. I know it's not gonna be like 10 more fights. I don't think I have 10 more fights, but no better way than keep fighting the best guys in the division. You know, make that run to the title, and that will be Michael Bisping's story. And I believe he'll be able to get that title, and then like a couple more fights, and then we'll see. But that's the goal right now. So I'm to be honest, right now, that I know is getting short, the window's closing, I enjoy more, you know, like now I want to fight. I want to fight more, you know. If I'm not injured, if I'm not cool, I'm going to get another fight soon. But that's the goal now, to fighting, to stay healthy, to get no injuries, a little harder right now. I mean, the fact that you went the distance with the current champion with one arm, you know what I mean? It says you still got the goods, you're still capable. Sure. And what a great career what a finish to a career that would be. Oh my God, best of luck. Thank you. Do you ever think about what you're going to do when you're retired? I know you and Moicano, the Money podcast, I know that's popping. I owe you an appearance anytime. Hit me up. I don't know. I'm start like putting a little things there, podcast, like the YouTube, Portuguese. I have a YouTube only Portuguese because I had I started with the one in America, and everybody in Brazil was killing me. Yeah. Now I start one in Portuguese. Bro, like in 2 months, get over 30,000. It's going crazy. So that's one thing that I'm gonna put a lot of effort to it. But I don't know. I have a couple of projects with the UFC. You know, I want to bring the UFC PI to Brazil. I think it's so many great. That's clever. Yeah, so many great athletes there, like so many. But the country is so corrupt, it's so poor. They're like a lot of guys, they cannot make it. Many Alex Pereira there, so many other legends there, but they might not be able to live doing MMA. You know, so that's one of the things that I have in store, like be the one that's going to bring the PI to Brazil, and then kind of like work with the UFC together. That's one of the goals that I have, you know, start being around sports. Yeah. It's crazy that there isn't a PI there, because that seems like the obvious place. It was the birthplace of mixed martial arts. So many legendary fighters, so much talent. You know, being a Brazilian yourself, how is the level of recognition for the UFC in Brazil compared to America? It's big. It's just the thing with Brazil is so corrupt right now. Like they try to control the politician now. Those guys that take over now, they are kind of like they lefty. So it's kind of like he's not going in a good ways. But number one sport in Brazil is soccer. But like by far, it's like soccer is right here. Then volleyball. It's kind of MMA volleyball. Freaking volleyball is big in Brazil, bro. Like, because these guys, they all win medals in Olympics in the wars. But freaking MMA is getting there. It's kind of like MMA second place almost right now. But the difference from soccer is so big. Soccer is number one, mainstream everywhere. Kind of same thing in England, right? Same thing in England. It's football's here, and then everything else is down here. That's Brazil. That's Brazil. The back pages, all the newspapers, all the TV coverage, it's just football, football. Yeah. All right, well, listen, Gilbert, I've taken up enough of your time, buddy. I'll see you at the Apex in 2 weeks. The Money Podcast, anytime you want me, buddy, you just let me know.
Thank you for your time. Best of luck against Sean Brady. Get the PI Open down in Brazil. What else? Don't blow your arm out in the first round, and you'll be good.
No. Yes, that would be great. And then you come to the pod after the fight. After the fight, Monday or Tuesday after the fight, we do a nice pod right there.
100%. Let's do it, buddy.
Let's do it.
All right, there he is, the one and only Gilbert Burns. Excited for that fight next week in the Apex with Sean Brady. But another fight that I'm excited about is the return of one of the baddest men on the planet, Francis Ngannou. He's been out of action for a little bit. Last time we saw him against Anthony Joshua, he's fighting Renan Ferreira, and that was doing all the rounds on Friday. They had a press conference for it. Harrington, what's going on with Renan Ferreira? What was he saying?
So they did the press conference in DC, and there was a translator, right? Because he's speaking Portuguese. So he expressed to Ngannou he expressed to the crowd that Ngannou's had a very rough year, but the biggest problem of his year is going to be Renan Ferreira.
Let's have a look.
Ele sabe que ele tem grande problema e vai ser muito difícil de resolver.
Well, Francis has been going through a tough year in his life, but the toughest challenge in his life and in his year is going to be me. I'm going to be the biggest problem of his year right now. It's a tough puzzle for him to figure out.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about that because it seems on the surface that he's talking about maybe the passing of Francis's son, which is a disgusting thing to say. But apparently that's not what he said, and that's not what he was referring to. He was referring to the loss with Anthony Joshua, which, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that's damage control, or do you believe him?
I think I believe him. He doesn't, obviously I don't know him, but I haven't heard anything super explosive come from him before. He seems like a fairly quiet guy. I feel like if you're going to come out and be an asshole, you're probably not going to start with that.
No, and not to Francis Ngannou either. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he might put you out.
You got to do a square up with that man. And Francis hits hard. We know about the Ford Cortina going 75 miles an hour, okay, regardless of whether or not that's true. He hits hard. And that is just like such a low blow. I don't think anyone would do that. Brian says here in the chat, it's weird to be that spiteful in a foreign language. Did you see them square up though?
Yeah, he
makes Ngannou look small.
He is a large man.
He is ridiculous.
Big guy.
6'8", 13-3, knockout power. Last time against Ryan Bader, what was it? 21 seconds. Granted, Ryan's, he's getting on a bit now. Or is this them squaring up? Oh, look at that. That can't be real.
Gosh.
Is that real? That can't be real.
This is crazy.
Yeah,
that's insane.
They're setting up to do the CGI for the graphics, so they need them both in front of the green screen.
I mean,
how does he make 265?
I mean, Ngannou's got a very, very wide stance there, so that's going to make him look shorter. Just put it back on again, please, Brian, because that's just a mind-blowing visual. Absolutely mind-blowing. It's crazy. Look at that.
That's insane. Yeah, Francis has to cut to make 265 too. So how big is that guy?
Yeah, it's insane. Bro, it's not an easy fight for Ngannou because stylistically, this man hits incredibly hard. He's massive. We know Ngannou's not exactly, a Division I All-American wrestler. He's going to come out, he's going to bang. If he ends up on the ground, apparently the guy's got really good jiu-jitsu as well. Oh, no, 11 knockouts, 1 submission. But he's Brazilian.
So he could probably grapple a little.
He's probably familiar with rear naked chokes at some point, I would have thought.
He's probably not unfamiliar on the ground. But credit to Francis for taking this tough of a fight, too. There's easier fights he probably could have got himself into, I would imagine.
I think the PFL, though, from what I heard from stories online and just talking to people, they need him to fight because he signed the contract with them. He's gone off. He's boxed twice, made a ton of money. But it's like, bro, you're under contract over here. You got to fight.
Yeah.
And for him, going through something like that, losing a family member, losing a child, even worse, that's going to be a positive distraction. Just being around the camaraderie in the gym.
That's crazy you say that. That's exactly what Eric Nixick told me. It's it's been like a healing process for Francis. It keeps him occupied. It keeps him not alone around his friends. It's got to be tough.
Well, yeah, because when you're in this kind of environment, you're forced into positive cycles in your life. You know, it's when you're away from it all, that's when the distractions come in. That's when, like, if you've got loads of money and you're a Conor McGregor and all the demons on your shoulder and the distractions and people that don't really care about you and you're famous and you've got money and you can go here and do that. That's when, like, you just start making more and more mistakes. When you're in training camp, you're around these people, you've got a date, you've got, you know, you've got to be accountable to yourself. You know, it's easier to stay on the straight and narrow, to exercise his demons, to just try and get over.
Other people are counting on you.
Other people are depending on you. You know, I'm always impressed with fighters, you know, that have made a lot of money, like Francis has. The boxing 2 fights that he had would have been mega lucrative. I don't know how much he earned, but he probably doesn't need to fight again.
Yeah,
and then
it was enough.
He's probably made what, $20-30 million.
Yeah,
you know,
probably.
That goes a long way in Cameroon. It's a lot of money.
It'll go a long way anywhere.
It goes a long way anywhere. Even in California, they'll take
they'll get their part of it.
Oh, they'll take a good chunk and they'll do nothing for it, and they will not fix the potholes. You know, the state of the roads around here in California is bad, man.
They're no better here.
Like, what about where you live?
It's Nebraska is the home of the orange cone. It's constant construction here.
It's dog shit where I am.
It's terrible. Yeah.
It's so bad. Like, you drive along. When I used to have this shitty Maserati back in the day when I was champion of the world, got myself a douchebag car, souped up, pimped out, custom Maserati Quadriporte. It was beautiful. It looked like a stormtrooper. I just had to have it. Bro, you went over a pothole, flat tire, straight away. I remember coming back from the Fox Studios at midnight on the 10 freeway in Los Angeles, trying to change a bloody spare tire on the freeway. I couldn't do it. I couldn't figure it out. The guy
That's how you get robbed as the champion of the world.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Standing out like a sore thumb. So look at this dickhead. Number one, who's this?
Nice Maserati, dickhead.
Yeah, dickhead. That's what you get. You drive a car like that, you just get abuse. Like, that's
you can't park there. I love those videos where there's like a car accident or some guys ran up in a tree.
Yeah.
Someone rolls their window down. Hey, you can't park there. I love those.
My Thai boxing coach, Daz Morris in Manchester, he likes to drive a nice car, you know. And I remember, I forget what it was. He's always got a Lamborghini or something bloody stupid and flash, you know. Currently, it's a bright yellow Porsche 911 Turbo, you know. It's just, he's that kind of guy. Anyway, so we're in this Lamborghini and we're in Manchester, and this guy goes, dickhead. That's what you get if you drive with that kind of stuff in Manchester.
What do you think Francis Ngannou drives? I bet it's something real nice.
It can't be a little tiny sports car like Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis has 2 Lamborghinis.
In a big badass jacked up truck though.
Oh, does he really?
He's got it is bad to the bone. It is one of the coolest trucks I've ever seen.
I've never owned a truck. I want to get a truck.
Really?
What do you drive? I bet you drive a truck, don't you?
I drive a couple, yeah.
Yeah. What kind of truck you got?
Well, I have a classic 05 diesel Excursion. That's my baby. And it's completely redone. And my daily driver is a new Tahoe. Like a big SUV.
Nice. Yeah. I want to get, you know, because these trucks in the front, I've been in a couple. I'm like, oh my God, they're so spacious and luxurious.
Nice. Yeah.
Not to mention,
my wife just got a new Yukon.
Right. They're nice.
Really nice. Yeah, it's really nice.
Not to mention it's a truck, because I've always got some shit that needs to be taken to the dump. Do you know what I mean? Like, things go outside on my street and they stay there for ages. We had a couch. We got a new couch, and because Callum plonked his ass on the couch, snapped it. So we got a new couch. And the old one, you call like the council, whatever you call it, the local authorities, and they come and take it away. But they didn't come. There was this couch on my front lawn for about 6 weeks. And you know the neighbors were talking shit.
Oh, they were hating.
Oh, yeah. They were like, this dickhead just leaves his couch on the front lawn, you know?
I'm getting ready to buy my daughter a truck, actually, my oldest, because she's almost 13. But I don't know how it is in other states, but in Nebraska, if you live a certain distance from the school, you can get a school permit. And so she's going to be driving to school in like a year. So
it's troublesome when the children start driving.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's scary.
You know,
my wife has been driving to school herself since she was 13. Her dad got her a Camaro. And so when she was like 13 or going to about 14, she's been driving ever since. I
remember when Callum passed his test, we were driving to pick up Lucas from jiu-jitsu. I said, Callum, you drive. I want to see how you are. Oh my God. It was terrifying. I'm like, how the hell did you pass a test? And then they go off out. Ellie drives to Los Angeles every week to go to acting class and stuff like that. I'm like, it's terrifying. Rebecca just tracks her constantly on the location on the phone. Yeah. We don't go to sleep until they come in at night. Yeah, and you're going to have 4 daughters all driving at some point.
I know. Well, with their school permits, they're only allowed to drive to school and like school activities and back. So at least that keeps her fairly close and, not out just driving all over the city or whatever. But it will be nice if you can take herself to school. Yeah.
Well, one person that likes to drive buses and likes to drive buses filled with kids is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Upstate Karate. He's got a fight coming up soon with the one and only Joaquin Buckley. And here he is. Oh, my man. Wonderboy Thompson in the house, coming at us live from Upstate Karate.
We are at Upstate Karate, man. Yeah. I can hear all the kids outside in the dojo just running around right now. So just got through with my after-school pickup, just got off the bus, and now I'm here chatting with you, brother.
It's amazing. I love that. I do. And I'm kind of jealous. Like you've built it's just beautiful to see the martial arts community that you've built, and your agent, Matt, just messaged me, says, he's just picking up some kids on the bus. He'll be with you in just a second. I'm like, you're the most wholesome dude on the planet. Brian, our producer, he said, yeah, don't worry. I've emailed Wonderboy and I said to him, try and refrain from any like bad profanity. I'm like, we haven't got to worry with Wonderboy. Come on.
I got you guys, man. I got you. Yeah, man, this is what I love to do, man. Like I said, fighting is just a bonus for me. This is my jam. My dad's been running this business in Simpsonville for 41 years, and I'm just glad to be a part.
Well, and so are we. We're glad you have been a part of the UFC, man. But you have got a fight coming up soon. Joaquin Buckley.
Yes.
When is the fight? Tell me that. Yes. But also, I'm excited for this one, buddy, because talk about an on-paper explosive matchup.
100%, man. Joaquin Buckley, taking it back to International Fight Week, the entire week he's been like on me, like, dude, let's make this fight happen. Let's make it happen. I'm like, all right, man, my people will get with your people. We'll make this thing happen. And we signed this thing, right after International Fight Week, to be honest with you. So we signed it for a while now, but I'm glad this is happening. He's kind of like a Kevin Holland. He's kind of like the guy who's not afraid to come at you, and he'll bring the fight to you, which makes it even that much more exciting. So, obviously, going back, looking at his fights, I think he's on like a 3-fight winning streak at 170. But he's putting in work, man. And I'm all about giving these up and coming studs a chance to work their way up the rankings. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, he's got to be facing me October 5th, and not just me, but the best Stephen Wonderboy Thompson he could face. So. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fireworks for sure.
Let's go. How old are you now, Stephen? About 38?
I'm 41.
Oh, dude, I was way off. 41. What are you doing? You got no business being in an octagon.
Man, I know. I'm 41, but I feel like I'm 28, man, 29. I haven't taken a ton of punishment. I've had a few injuries years ago that kind of put me on the sidelines with my knee, but I'm still rehabbing it, man. I'm training every day. I'm just a lifelong martial artist. And my goal now, obviously the title is always there. Everybody wants the title. But for me, at this point in my career, it's about how much better can I make myself, right? And I think with the knowledge of that, it keeps me humble. It keeps me hungry. And I think with that mindset, success will be there.
Yeah, yeah. And because of everything, the way you live your life and what you've got set up there with the karate schools and stuff, it's not like fighting is your only thing. You need to do that. You've got to show up for the payday. You're doing this because you love it truly, right?
100%, man. I love to compete. I've been doing this my whole life. And it's just not the same if I don't have somebody to prepare for. If I don't have a face to, you know what I mean, to prepare for it, that will help me get ready for battle. Obviously, you know, even when I don't have a fight coming up, I'm still competitive, especially with my team here, because I'm always helping those guys get ready. But it's just something different when you have a face and you have a name. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's hard to really get out there and put in the work when you don't have that. Obviously, that's where the discipline and the perseverance comes in. But man, it's I feel like going against these guys is my test. Like, am I putting in the work in the gym? And my test is competing against the best out there, just to keep me at the top of my game. And I feel like I can do this for years to come, but you know, obviously that's not practical. I keep, obviously my dad, my coach, who knows me better than I know myself at this point. When he says I'm done, I'm done.
Well, not only do you have a face, you have a face that has a mouth. And it's a big mouth. Joaquin Buckley's not backwards in coming forward. I saw you just praising him on Twitter, saying what a fan he was. Wasn't he talking a bit of crap though?
No, to be honest with you, there was a little bit of trash talk after International Fight Week. And to be honest with you, I don't know if he was just trying to hype the fight up, but he was talking about, I was sitting there at International Fight Week. Me and my brother was at the pool. And I was with Chris Weidman's wife. He was doing something, and the kids, you know, with their family. We were just chit-chatting. And Joaquin Buckley comes up, and I wasn't sure if he wanted me to apologize to him or if he was trying to apologize to me. Something about a fan saying something. And I'm just like, I didn't understand what he was talking about. I was like, wait, what? And I was just like, man, don't worry about it. You know, I was just kind of like, hey, it's all good, man. And I guess he thought I was making fun of him. So he came after me a little bit on Twitter. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the heck? I have no idea what you're talking about. I had to actually stop and think about it.
Yeah, but never mind on Twitter. You're at the pool. You're with children, and he's coming over and making a scene.
Well, I don't think it was a scene, but he looked a little confused, and he looked like he wanted me to apologize to him. And I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on right now. Like, what's happening? But he ended up going to get a workout in. But I guess something didn't sit right with him. I guess he thought we were making fun of him or something. But anyway.
Well. These young bucks, so emotional.
These young bucks, man.
Yeah, no. You got to teach him the error of his ways.
I got to.
Yeah, exactly. Put him in his place. Let him know these old dogs. We can still get it done.
Yes, sir.
One of your recent opponents was Belal Muhammad. Unbelievable what he's done now, being champion of the world. I was just talking to Gilbert Burns, of course, mainstay of the welterweight division, perennial contender, and just talking about Belal Muhammad and his path going forward. What do you see in the future for Belal?
Man, the guy's put in so much work, man. I mean, he's, I think, almost a 10-fight win streak before he even got the chance to get the title. He's beat me. He's beat a lot of other guys. I'm happy for the guy. I'm glad that he's champion. He worked really hard for it. The fight, I was sitting there breaking down the fight with Chase Hooper and Jens Pulver on the Twitch. You know, we went live for that, and it was unbelievable. You know, for one, to be able to beat somebody like Leon Edwards, who went 10 rounds almost 10 rounds with Kamaru Usman, right?
Yeah.
Who beat Colby Covington. And, you know, in my eyes, it didn't look like the Leon of old. I mean, I know he was in shape for the fight. I know it was late. But at the same time, I've never seen a cardio or a gas tank on anybody like I did Belal Muhammad that night. Like Leon Edwards, he tired like a normal athlete. But freaking, you know, Belal Muhammad was just as fresh in the fifth as he was in the first. It was wild. And you could see the fatigue in Leon, but hats off to him, man. I don't know who's next. I feel like, number one, I would love to see Usman fight him just to see what that would be about. I think the wrestling would cancel out, so that they would force to strike, kind of like Usman and Colby Covington. I think it would be interesting. But also, I would like to see either Shavkat or Ian Gary. I would love to see Shavkat and Ian Gary battle it down, and whoever wins that gets to fight for the title. But any one of those guys, I think, would be a tremendous, a great fight,
As you, let's say, respectfully wind down your career, you probably got a handful of fights, right? Probably in the UFC.
Yes, sir.
There's some great matchups there for you. I mean, you just mentioned Ian Gary, Wonderboy Thompson, Michael Venom Page. Are these the kind of guys that you would love in your mind to close out this chapter of your life with?
I think it would be great, especially Ian Gary. But at this point in time, I kind of see where he's at. Like, he's just looking for the gold. I don't think he would want to even give me a chance. I'm ranked number 9. He's close to the title. I think he's looking for that next. And MVP, I think it would be. I think the fans would love that fight.
What a matchup that would be, Stephen. I mean, come on. The pair of you with the hands down doing this, boxing coaches all over the world are going to be losing their mind.
That's the thing. I think it would just be that, just moving around, staring at each other the whole time. We're both counter strikers. We got that karate background where we want guys to come forward so they run to our techniques so we can work on our angles, so we can blitz. But when you have another counter striker on the other side of the octagon with you, it could be definitely possibly be one of the most boring fights ever. And I think people would boo it. I think people would boo that fight. I really do, man.
No, I can't believe it. One of you is going to go forward. So what you're saying is fighting your style is a pain in the ass.
Yes, especially when you're fighting almost somebody with the exact same style as you. I mean, I have a lot of respect for MVP and what he's done and things. And we're good buds, and we come from a family of martial artists as well. But when we have the same fighting style, we want somebody to come forward, right? We want those guys to come forward. And that's kind of what makes our style like the best. And a lot of times we use our distance to try to draw that out of somebody. But when you have somebody doing the exact opposite across the cage from you, it would almost be like the second Tyron Woodley fight, when we both experienced each other and we were both just waiting on somebody to do something, and it was a very boring fight. I could definitely see it going that route, man. And I know he's mentioned that too, which I kind of agree. I mean, what made the Ian Gary fight so special and exciting was Ian Gary he came forward. He wanted to come forward. He wanted to get close, which can play into MVP's hands, but obviously Ian Gary got the best of him that night. I would love to have that fight with Ian Gary for sure, but I think he's just going to go for the title, man. But I don't mind fighting these young bucks, man, like Joaquin Buckley and Kevin Holland and all these guys. It's fun. It's fun to still test myself against these guys coming up.
And they are fun guys as well. Buckley and Kevin Holland, they are fun characters. Kickboxing, for the longest time, it was kind of overlooked, if you will. People are, you got to be a wrestler. You got to be good at jiu-jitsu and all the rest of it. You've been kickboxing and doing karate your entire life. We've got people like Alex Pereira now who's just doing unbelievable things. I think now people are starting to finally give it, the respect that it's due as the art. Because I think for the longest time, people were it was all grappling focused, every fight starts on the feet, but we're going to try and take him down. Are you happy that you're seeing more and more strikers now having success? Oh yeah, man. It's almost gone like a full circle, right? I started in the era with, you had the Anderson Silvas, and you had, basically specialists that were in the game. And I still we both kind of come from that era. You were more of a very well-rounded fighter, but I was kind of geared more towards just the striking era. But it's good to see kind of make that full circle again when you are seeing the Izzies and the Alex Pereiras and guys who come from that kickboxing background and doing well in the MMA arts, being able to defend the takedown, being able to be threatening enough so that these guys hesitate and fear actually trying to wrestle these guys for fear of the running into knees or elbows and things like that. So it's cool to be able to see that, man, especially Alex Pereira, to be able to fight on the same card as him as well.
October 5th is super special because he's one of the most popular guys right now in the UFC, I think, you know. So it is really cool to be able to see the striking, man, earn its day again. But on top of that, I don't, you know, obviously at this point in time, even though you do see the striking, these guys are working relentlessly on their grappling and their wrestling so that they can keep the fight standing. You have to have the others as well.
And it's fun for guys like us to watch.
Yes.
The fight with Buckley, when is that going down?
That's going down October 5th, UFC 307. So approximately 6 weeks away. I'm in great shape at this point.
Where is that? Where's it taking place?
That's going to be in Salt Lake City. Excuse me.
Utah.
Salt Lake City. I owe them one because I was supposed to fight Michel Fajeda last year, and he didn't make weight, remember?
God damn.
And
so that's right. So the fight was called off.
Yep. So I owe Salt Lake City a fight. So we're making that happen there. And what better dance partner than Joaquin Buckley? The dude just comes forward and wants to bring it. So those are the best, man. Those are my favorite fights, those guys. You know, the Hollands, the Vicente Luques, who just come forward and want to scrap, man, and put on a show. Dude, could possibly be another fight of the night, you know? And that's one of my favorite feelings is after one of those fights. When I'm walking through the airport the next day, I can barely stand up. My face is sore, you know? You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
For me, that's the best feel. You just did something, you know? And he's the type of guy that's going to bring it. You know, when I fought Bilal and you know, Gilbert Burns, I feel like nothing happened. They beat me, but I didn't have the same feeling. But I think Joaquin is definitely going to bring it October 5th for sure.
Oh yeah. Those flights home where you're bloodied, battered, bruised up to the max, your face is falling apart. Everyone's looking at you in the airport like you're a psycho. But it is the best feeling, and as long as you win. Right, like flying from Australia, right, with a broken nose and all messed up. When you've lost,
it's completely different.
But when you win, you're like, I don't care. I don't care.
This is the best feeling ever, man. Yes, I'd be like put me in a wheelchair, you know, wheelchair me through the airport, and like you said, the people are looking at you like, what the heck, man? What is going on? But it is the best feeling, man. Going home and feeling your battle wounds. So you just did something, bro.
And then when you walk into upstate karate, I mean, what is that? What does that feel like? I mean, how many kids do you have signed up to your program? And I'm assuming when you made the glorious return to the dojo, Sensei Stephen Wonderboy Thompson walks in, they're all there. I mean, you're like a bloody real life superhero to these kids, aren't you?
It's funny because, you know, the parents are like, you know, my kid has no idea, has no clue. You know, what, like, you know, who you are. They just know you as Mr. Steven. And, you know, every one of them, you know, they tune in, and no matter win or loss, I'm in there Monday morning teaching classes the next day. You know, depending on how I look, if I have stitches or black eyes, I may take a day or two off to heal up because I don't want the kids to see me like that. But it's funny, man. Kids don't give a crap. If you win, awesome. If you lose, they're like, you know, Mr. Steven, I saw you get knocked out this past Saturday. You know, it's like, man, come on, kid, you know.
Give me a break. Come on.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Keep your hands up, Mr. Steven. You tell me to keep my hands up. You got to keep your hands up.
They keep you honest.
Alive.
No, that's amazing. It really is, honestly. When I hear you talk like that, it warms my heart. And as I said before, I'm kind of jealous, man. It must be an amazing feeling. Listen, thank you for your time here today. All the best in October.
Thank you, brother.
What's the main event there?
Alex Pereira and Rountree.
Oh, of course. Kickboxers top of the bill as well. Hey, buddy. Let's go indeed. 41, going strong. Go out there, get the job done, get the win, and maybe I'll see you there. All right, this episode is sponsored by Prizepicks, which is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prizepicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prizepicks, it's just you against the numbers. You just pick more or less on a 2 to 6 player stat projection, and you watch the winnings roll in. Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. Football gets started again very, very soon. Caleb Williams, if he gets 1 yard, he will get you a win. So one Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prizepicks picks every week in September. That is right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prizepicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Also, you've got to remember Prizepicks puts their members first. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks here, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. That is correct. So download the Prizepicks app today. Use the code BELIEVE and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That is code BELIEVE on Prizepicks to get $50 instantly when you just play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. Prizepicks, run your game. I mean, that's a tremendous offer. Go and download the Prizepicks app. Use the code BELIEVE. Play $5. You don't even need to win, and you get given $50 as a bonus. It's guaranteed. The nicest guy on planet Earth, Stephen Thompson.
The nicest. The coolest.
He is cool, man.
He is.
He's also got a pretty cool car as well, you say.
He does have an awesome Audi R8 that is probably too small for me to ever fit in, but it is. He looks. It's definitely a switch of worlds when he comes in, because I've been there before, and he'll drive the buses and then get off the bus, go train, and then get in the Audi when he leaves. You're like, wait a second.
What color is the R8?
It's white and black. It's mainly white with black accents. It is sweet. It is.
The R8s are beautiful.
Oh,
I remember.
There it is, right there.
Yeah. Yeah, when Rampage came out to England to train with us years ago, he went down the Audi dealership and he saw the R8 that just come out. He wanted one of them badly, and he wanted to buy one in England specifically because the steering wheel's on the other side, and they have it shipped out to America. Because like no one's going to have this out there in America where the steering wheel's on the other side. I'm like, yeah, but bro, that's going to cause a lot of inconveniences, like going through drive-throughs and whatnot all the way over there. He's like, yeah, but that's why
Rampage loves a good drive-through.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Anyway, thank you to Wonderboy coming up. Listen, what's going on with your boy, Stipe Miocic, Joe Biden? Okay, is he injured or what? Because Tom Aspinall's out there.
Him.
He's spreading some nasty rumors.
And he responded. Let's see here. I text him. What time is it right now? I text him 20 minutes. I text him 20 minutes ago. That's hilarious that he posted that, because that's exactly what he said to me.
Oh, really?
He said, no, it's honestly fake news. Really weird that he said that.
I think that's Tom now. I think he's just at this point now where he's having a laugh. He's talking shit. He's stirring things up. He's trying to get himself in there, trying to get himself a fight.
It made me nervous.
God.
What do you want me to say to Stipe? You want me to send him something real quick?
Yeah, tell him when's he coming on the show and clapping back at Tom.
That's a good idea.
Send him a link right now.
Send him a link right now. So you ready? You're free. Get on here. Come on, Joe. Let's go. So that's bullshit.
He's going to kick your ass when he sees you.
I never said that. That's Tom Aspinall. I've got nothing but respect for Stipe. I got recognized as Stipe Saturday night again.
Really?
I'm walking through the Durango Casino to get my first drink. What a nice
casino.
Oh, it's beautiful. And I ate at Nico's Friday night by myself we went. We had our little date. Sat there, table for one. No, a guy goes, hey, Stipe. I went, I'm not Stipe. Oh, dear. Dricus Duplessis may have a new contender. Obviously, who's he going to fight? He's going to fight Strickland next.
Yeah.
But Jiří Procházka, the former light heavyweight champion, what's he saying, Harrington? He says he's going to come down to 185 and he fancies his chances against Dricus.
So he said if Izzy was to win that fight, stay at 205 for sure. But he says with DDP being there, he thinks he can come down, establish himself in the division and then win gold down at 185. So he's going to challenge himself and make the trip down.
I tell you what, no man alive would want to miss that fight.
No.
2 proper fighting men. Be a right good fight, that, Anthony. Be a good one, that.
That'd be a great fight. You talk about awkward, though. That's beautiful.
It's like, stop it. The most awkward. You're right. You're a dickhead because you're right. Yeah, like your style's like unique. Drickers is very unique.
Just be like watching two frogs fuck.
Like, but talk about violence, though.
Oh, it'd be aggressive. It would be. I mean, I'm sure that they would get after it right away, but none of it would make any sense.
No, it wouldn't. Good luck.
But I would. I'll promote the shit out of it. I'd be happy. I'd be sitting there front row, ready to watch it and excited about it. But in terms of breaking down X's and the O's, I probably just stay at home for that one because you won't need me.
Do you think because with Jiří being a former champion, having some really high profile fights, headlining Madison Square Garden, 300 or 303 was it as well? Do you think that he would have the star power, and would it make sense for him to come down and get an immediate title fight? Because it's weird, because after Sean Strickland, obviously there's Khamzat and there's Whittaker. But would Jiří coming down be able to kind of trump all of that stuff while the rest of the division kind of sorted itself out? I'm the biggest Robert Whittaker guy, biggest fan, biggest supporter. I want to see him get a title fight. But I wouldn't be mad if it was Jiří Procházka just slides in there.
No, I think the only person that, if Khamzat wins, I think that'd be a hard one to pass over. And with all due respect, as hard as it is to get Khamzat in there, if he's healthy and if he wins and he's healthy and he's ready to go, you probably do that as quick as you can, just because you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get. So other than that, probably he probably do slide him right in.
Be fun to see. It would be fun to see. And it's always fun to answer your questions. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to answer some questions. If you have a question, please send it in to bympod@gmail.com. I know last week we did 2 live shows, okay? And we were going to do a live one this week. But I got surgery on Tuesday, so there's not going to be a show on Thursday. You never know. We'll see how I'm feeling. Maybe I'll come on. I'll do a quick one with Harrington, all looped out of my mind and all kinds of bloody drugs. I'll have a drain coming out of my neck and bloody blood everywhere and all the rest of it, or maybe we just won't. But we will be going back to the live formats, just Bisping struck, which is why we didn't go live today. So apologies if you like that new time. Harrington.
And if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, make sure to subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps out on those platforms. And the big one, as Mike said, we are going to be going live on the YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new video drops.
Yes, please do. Brian, what do we have?
All right, so first question we got here today is from a repeat offender from last episode. I called him Brick Wall, but apparently his name is actually Stump.
Well, you weren't far off. He's a very stumpy guy.
All right, BYM. Thanks, Brian, for the new nickname. Got a couple more questions for y'all. What lifts are the guys using in the gym for MMA, performance in MMA? What's the best lifts? And another question for you, Bisping, is me and you about the same age. What's keeping you from using TRT? You know, you don't have to go by any rules anymore, or you don't have to, like, get drug tested. Like, is it just pride? Like, is it, you know, make you feel like you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, or what? Because I can tell you, you're going to feel great if you ever get on it, man. You're going to take my advice. Do it. All right, later.
Bro, Stumpy, Brick Wall, whatever your name is.
That's a great question.
Well, he's not the best advert for it, let's be honest.
I think I've asked you that same question before.
Yeah. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. When
I retire, you guys thought Conor McGregor was on some shit. I am going to be fucking juiced. I'm going to look like Gordon Ryan. That's my plan. I'm going to be juiced out of my fucking mind.
Gordon Ryan. He's got a 27 pack. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna have veins on my fucking forehead.
I've got a lead role hopefully coming up later this year. I'll be cooking with gas. I ain't getting no drug test. You're gonna be like, Jesus Christ, this slimmed down all of a sudden and got big. Look at that. My God.
Yeah, just put my face on that. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Thanks for the question. You know, it's interesting. We've never spoke about weightlifting and stuff. For me, ever since I've stopped doing MMA, that's kind of like what I do. I lift weights 4 or 5 times a week. I do all my body parts and stuff like that. I break it down. Mondays, I do shoulders and biceps. Tuesdays, I do chest and traps. Wednesdays, back and biceps. Thursdays, I do legs and abs. And then Friday or Saturday, I'll do like kind of a full body circuit kind of thing. When you're training for MMA, there's so many other disciplines. It doesn't really get a look at. Obviously you lift weights because you want to maintain your strength and stuff like that. But what about you, Anthony? Because for me, when I was lifting, it's all the obvious ones: squat, bench, deadlift, pull-ups, all the big major exercises. But what about you?
Yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of like Olympic powerlifting lifts, a lot of like big explosions and short distances.
Yep.
And then you have to you got to start mixing that with mobility stuff so that you can still functionally move it. So we do a lot of functional lifts, a lot of functional workouts, but like Mike said, it's tough because you have so many other disciplines and practices throughout the week that the one that tends to get pushed back is the lifting one. So we do a lot of strength and conditioning, very heavy on the conditioning. So because we're in an endurance sport, and so that's in between fights, I do very similar to you, very, very basic, just lifting. But in camp, that kind of gets pushed to the wayside.
Outside of camp, that's when you try and do your strength building,
Right.
because you're not breaking your body down and doing all of that training. And then when I would start a training camp, I'd do it twice a week, my lifts. And that's mainly to maintain the strength that you've got. And hopefully you
build in between fights.
Yeah, that you've built between fights. And obviously then most fighters are trying to lose a few pounds. So you're on a calorie deficit, so you want to lose fat, but you also end up losing some muscle. So you're trying to make sure you don't lose the strength that you've built. And then halfway through the camp, then that just kind of switches to conditioning where it just becomes crazy circuits. But yeah, these days now, I do the same thing every day. Cardio first. Do my weights, whatever it is. I normally do 4. I always do supersets because, if they say you do your set, you wait 2 minutes. For that 2 minutes, I'm like, what can I be doing? So I do an opposite body part while that 2 minutes is going. So I'm always moving. So then also I'm burning more calories. So I'm just using my time more effectively. But I couldn't not work out. It's the best part of my day.
Yeah, if I don't, it starts throwing me off. And I can tell that I haven't been doing enough recently because I'm like real fidgety and getting a little more agitated and a little short-tempered. I need to get back to the gym, like the fight gym. And I took a little bit of time off. So I can tell that I'm starting to get a little bit agitated.
When I get up in the morning, obviously, I have my coffees and whatnot, then I get into the workout stuff. And as I said, that is by far the best part of my day. I love it. I go out for a morning run. The sun's shining. It's beautiful. You listen to some music. You just feel great. And then all the usual bullshit of the day starts. Do you know what I mean? But in the gym, I'm enjoying myself. What else we got?
All right. So we have a new weirdo. We're going to try this one out and see how this feels. This is Svebor from Serbia.
Hello, BYM. It's Svebor from Serbia. I have a few questions, but mind you, these questions come from parallel universe and diagonal dimension. Anthony, growing up in Clitheroe, were you a Man City or Man United fan? Mikey B, what was your first tattoo and why? Harrington, who actually framed Roger Rabbit? And of course, fuck you, Brian.
Okay.
Subscribe and don't ring no bells. Thank you.
Yeah, he doesn't need to ring the bells because he is a bit of a bell end. I mean, come on, bro. He was giving off Roland Vixen vibes. I thought this could be good.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, is this the real Roland?
What was it like growing up in Clitheroe, Anthony?
It was rainy. Rainy. I spent all my time DJing at bars and clubs and
just killing it.
Yeah, just fighting, had kids young and struggled. You know, finally made it to the Ultimate Fighter, and then here I am, won a world championship.
You turned it all around.
Yeah, I turned my life around.
Do you know what I was talking about? And I don't know what it's like where you live. There's no pubs around here. They don't exist. There is bars, right? Yeah. There are dingy little dive bars, or there's a sports bar. Mm-hmm. But there's no pubs. And I want, we're gonna move somewhere. We're gonna tour around the country. A big part that's on the checklist is that there needs to be, and I don't mean because you want to go sit down and get hammered. No, it's not about that. You go and sit down. There's nice, friendly people. You have a game of pool. You sit at the bar. You have a beer. You get chatting to people in the local neighborhood and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Do these exist where you live? Because around here in California, they're not.
In my hometown, yeah, that's pretty much all there is. But here in Omaha, no, not really. It's just bars. There's a couple Irish. They're called Irish pubs, but they're really just bars.
The Irish bars, yeah. There's one down the street. It's not close enough for me to go as a local, but it's. I love
a good full Irish breakfast, though.
What's a full Irish? What's different from a full English?
I don't know. Never had a full English.
Well, what comes on a full Irish?
It's eggs, rashers, blood pudding, and potatoes. Yeah.
It's essentially an full English. That's what we call it. It's not called a full Irish. It's called a full English. Okay.
Okay. Well, in Ireland, it's called a full Irish.
Well, yeah.
I used to always search. I would always find one after weigh-ins back in the day.
I have it every day.
My meal.
I have it every day. Bacon, eggs, sausages. Anyway. Mm-hmm. All right. I think that's the show. I think we're going to get out of here. Thursday, probably not going to be a show. I'm having very serious neck surgery tomorrow. So, but I'm going to try.
Are you friends with your surgeon?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Why?
My surgeon, he's done every surgery I've ever had. He's a friend. He's actually Terrence Crawford's cut man too. Brian Conroy, shout out Brian Conroy, does a great job. He's done every surgery I've ever had. And I'll give him my phone before the surgery starts, and he'll take pictures inside of my body. You should ask.
Yeah, no, I do want to get some of that stuff. I could do a killer YouTube video on the insides of my throat. And people like,
that'd be sweet.
We're sick of hearing about you. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm just concerned because I've already got a slice there. You know what I mean? I want them to go through the same place, but apparently they can't.
No, get a new one.
Because the scar tissue won't heal. I don't slashes all over my neck. So they're going to cut it open, obviously, push all your throat and everything to the side to reveal the spine, and then take out a disc.
You got to get a picture.
Doc, listen, Rebecca's going to be in the corner of the room. Okay, she's just going to be filming.
No, just ignore her. Just give him your phone. He'll take a picture.
No one gets my phone. Maybe we'll have a show on Thursday. Maybe we won't. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Subscribe, please. Goodbye.